Phish friends, it is that time again. We're going to be checking out two more tracks from Phish. Both of these are live performances. We're going to start with Brother and then end with Maze. And if you'll remember, during my full album reaction of Rift, we've actually heard the studio version of Maze. And, that song was crazy intense. And by the end, Trey does what Trey does. And I can only imagine what it's going to sound live or in what wacky ways they're going to re-envision this one. Super excited to check these out today. But before we do, a massive thank you goes to Curtis for making this reaction request. Now, let's jump into it. "1996. Where things rhythmically and melodically are crazy. That is like the start of something hella atonal. This pattern John is playing is hard to wrap my brain around. Back into the funk, I'm down. Got long hair Mike and long hair Trey.
Somebody's jumping in the tub with their brother. Somebody's jumping in the tub with their brother.
Wow, what a sudden shift. Let's hear that transition.
In the tub with their brother.
Like, truly, if you are a first-time listener to Phish, that would take you out.
Somebody's definitely jumping in the tub with their brother. Somebody's definitely jumping in the tub with their brother.
Definitely.
Somebody's jumping in the tub with their brother. Somebody's definitely jumping in the tub with their brother. Let's get Ben and Jerry out here to help us out with this one here. Ben and Jerry.
I can only assume buckets of ice cream are about to walk on stage. I need to Google what Ben and Jerry actually look like. Ben and Jerry in real life. Oh my god, that's actually them. Hold on, give me a second. Guys. What? I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm going to keep this right here and we're going to compare. Oh my god, they actually did it. Why not, man? Why not?
Somebody's jumping in the tub with your brother.
It's It's like they're weirdly out of tune, but because it's Phish, it works. They're weirdly out of sync rhythmically, but because it's Phish, it works.
Somebody's jumping in the tub with your brother.
I gotta call my brother after this. Beautiful scale. It's like a reasonable question to ask what scale this is because it is so exotic feeling, but the problem is that all of the scale degrees, all of the pitches, they feel familiar. But if you were to ask me the question, what scale is this on a multiple choice quiz, I would only be guessing and I would probably get it wrong. I feel like the only way to properly learn like what he is doing in this moment, because of how out there it sounds, is to like fully transcribe his playing and then just learn by doing. Also, I've always wondered, but it's finally occurring to me to say it out loud, are there like transcriptions of Trey's tabs? Even for the studio versions of his songs, I would love to like look at them and just try to make heads or tails of it. I mean, if they exist for the lives, that's all the better. I'm going to pull it back some here. Melodically, I understand a little bit more. So impressive. not. I think it's the first time I've ever seen them all physically playing with their. This is like the Adam's apple area, but typically singers do this to move their larynx, which I believe, if I remember from my anatomy, is free floating. Either, I think it's free floating cartilage, and you can move it left, right, up, and down. Singers try to like physically manipulate it in order to either create some of these like yodeling sounds or to not engage all of the neck muscles while trying to keep your larynx in a low position. Because if you're trying to sing a lot of higher notes, especially notes that are closer to the top of your range, you're going to need to make sure your larynx stays as depressed as possible relative to how high you're going. And of course, naturally, as you start to sing higher and speak with higher pitch and ascend all the way up to your vocal peak within your range, your larynx is going to naturally rise. But the best practice is to keep it as controlled as possible so that you can more easily access those places. Okay, random singing lesson over. This song is insane. We start in atonal land. We like visit funky land. John is doing a lot of crazy things on the rhythm. Then Trey just takes over. And I feel like if I were to guess on the multiple choice quiz, I think we are in Lydian. And I will not be substantiating why I think that. It didn't stay Lydian throughout. It definitely like morphed and went back into major, and we heard other sort of influences come into his playing. But I feel like the bulk of the early part of the solo was in Lydian, or at least what I presume to be. Dude, I love how creative Trey is. I've said it so many times before. His phrasing is unlike any other guitarist you'll ever hear. It shows up in his rhythm. It shows up in the notes he chooses. It shows up in the way that he just builds the intensity of the song so easily over the course of a single minute, multiple minutes. In this song, it felt like he was just going for 4 minutes there, which is awesome. I also like that we had a lot of the, I guess, more shouty vocals here. Whenever we get that from Phish, I know that they're like putting their entire being into performance. Because oftentimes when you're singing more easy to sing phrases, you don't have to put in as much energy. You're able to exert some level of, I should say it the other way, you're able to show some level of restraint rather than overly exerting yourself. And even in the song, they're not exerting themselves past what's already possible, but I like that there's that bit of vocal strain that's pulling them up to those higher notes. And I think by the end of the song, too, we return a little bit to atonal land. So this is the kind of performance that, like, you show your friend because you want to see their brain explode. Oh, and I've neglected to mention the fact that we had so many, like, start, stops, and, like, jarring transitions from section to section earlier on. Yeah, this is the kind of song that it may not immediately catch the ears of a new Phish listener, but it would certainly like bamboozle them. But beautiful, beautiful work. Let's hear the live version of Maze. This is in 97. Oh, they got some candles. Apparently you're only supposed to have beeswax candles, because a lot of the store-bought ones, they have parabens or something that gives us cancer. Just another thing that does. My tea probably is doing that to me right now. You hear the soaring birds. They're very subtle right now. You know, they're getting louder, like these little shooting stars falling.
The overhead view is of me in a maze. And you see what I'm hunting a few steps away. But I take a wrong turn and I'm on the wrong path. And the people all watching enjoy a good laugh.
You gotta turn this up a bit.
Embarrassed of failure, I try to reverse the course that my tread had already traversed. So doing the trauma, engulfing my dream, invaded through what was an unguarded scene.
It's a lot more subtle of a start than Brother.
The torrent of helplessness swept me away to the cabin of shame and the hall of dismay. Inside me a voice was repeating the phrase, "You've lost it, you'll never get out of this maze."
I love that the lighting coincides with the brightness in their playing. Dude, out the gate he is starting. Watching his fingers glide up and down like a spider, it's so mesmerizing. Now off the page, and you hear Mike, by the way. They gave him the meatiest tone ever. Whole tone? No. I almost thought we were doing whole tone skill. Is it? They always draw from such mysterious melodic bags. I could hardly hear Trey there when they panned the video. Like I hear Paige and Mike so well. See, it'd be probably easier for me to play what Paige is playing accidentally than to actually try to play exactly what he's playing with the sheet music. The fact that he makes all these like decisions intentionally is wild. Cause like, whose piano teacher is gonna teach you this? Only fish brain players. Oh. I don't know if the recording is quiet or if this is actually the sound. playing up on the neck. Dude, I don't even know what I'm listening to. Paige is going insane. Okay, I hear a bit of Trey now. Oh my goodness. Right back to that bright place. Nope. Back to frenetic energy land. Oh my god, Trey? Yeah. Open it up with that. I gotta say, this song has taken a whole new form compared to the studio. Ooh. I think when Trey's doing that, he's changing the pickup. It's hard to tell if there's... or maybe it's the whammy. It's hard to tell with the quality. Wow, and Paige is kind of playing that like James Bond movement. The 5, the flat 6, the 6. My guitar teacher never taught me that. Okay. Unison bends. A very classic rock thing to do. And when Trey does it, you just don't expect him to. Where are we now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The depths of hell are opening. pulled right out, back out of the rift into the light, then back into the red of the soloing. Like in any Phish performance, there's like 4 or 5 threads to follow throughout. Shows up in the lighting, in the sections, in the jam, in the structure. And they all interweave together in this madness, back to the hellish place. Oh my god. Oh, great bends. I can't see fucking shit out of this thing. There we go. Wow, man. What even happened? That was just like I just got blitzed. And now we're back. Wow, it is so different. Wow. Wow. And for that not to be an effect. The fact that they can layer it that way in real time that quickly after having not done it the entire time. Goats. Lord, oh Lord. Oh god, where do I start? Okay, like that ending sequence where they're doing the vocal layering there. I don't know if you guys have ever, well, probably you have, had this experience where you're in conversation with somebody and then another person who doesn't quite understand that you're in this conversation starts talking at you at the same time, and now all of a sudden what was an easy to digest back and forth in this dyad becomes 2 dyads, because it's still not a triangular conversation where like they're taking into consideration the other person speaking at me. They're both speaking at me, and now I'm like hearing both, and I'm able to process bits of what the first person is saying and bits of what the second person is saying, but also they're getting jumbled in real time to the point that like I feel the need to respond to both to like show that, hey, this is making it more difficult for me. But in fact, by responding to both, I'm like tacitly approving that behavior. Not that you have to like control like a puppeteer all social dynamics and multi-person conversations, but like it is so hard to get out of the maze of the 2 people speaking at you. This is just an insane performance. Like what we have in the original song Maze definitely feels studio-y, especially now having heard this live performance. That just, this is like the best way to describe a Phish song. Just draw out like random, you know, not like scribbles. I feel like that implies something negative, but just it's seemingly directionless. But like, because fish are like 7-dimensional beings, they look at something as complicated in that as that and just view it as one cohesive thing. Like lately I've been looking at videos, like back when I was younger, I would like love to learn about the fourth dimension, like cubes and then tesseracts and hypercubes, and understanding like what it means if we can view it visually in the 3D world. Is that still an accurate representation of the 4D object? No, because we can only view it through our 3D lens, and technically when we view things, it's 2D because of the depth that we add on to the flat kind of plane. It's all very complicated, and I'm not an expert, so when I imagine Phish like breaking down their own music, and I don't know if they do reactions to their own stuff, but I would love to listen to them break things down. But if they did, I could imagine them being like, oh yeah, we just decided to go for insert X feeling, and that's what the song is. And then I'm meant to be like, okay, but like, how do I work with that? A separate example would be if somebody's like giving you dating advice, right? And when you're very early on in your dating career, you have no idea what you're doing, you have no idea how to talk to anyone, and they just say, hey, be yourself. Bruh, I am, it's not working. You know? And then at some point when you like reach that stage of like, okay, I actually know how to like have social interactions with people, being yourself, oh, that advice always made sense. But there's kind of these like, I believe when you take classes in like teaching and education, there's this concept of teaching thresholds, where once you've passed a certain checkpoint, you can never look at the previous material in a way that you remember that you didn't know it. So when you go to teach it to somebody, you give them the very high level E equals MC squared, but the kid learning it is like, I don't know what E is, I don't know what M is, I don't know what C is, I don't know what the 2 above the C is. And you're like, how don't you know all of these things? I feel like Phish would be more understanding, given that I'm sure many people have said their music is more complicated than many of us are capable of understanding. But regardless, these guys are otherworldly, and I'm just grateful to be a part of the world that I understand and that I get to hear Phish through. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on these 2 tracks today. Definitely, these put you through it, that's for sure. If you'd like to request more Phish yourself, as always, you can do so by hitting the first link in the description box below. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and peace.